Hello there. Welcome to Healthy Cooking with your friendly Italians. I'm Jim Bero.
I'm Marilyn Bero.
And we're here to talk about food, recipes we're going to give you. We're going to do a little traveling. We're still in Italy. I don't know when we're going to get through Italy. And we're just going to have some fun today.
Right.
And so we're glad you're with us. And what we're first going to be talking about is, well, let me first tell you about the recipes we're going to do. We're going to do chicken on a stick. We're going to do arugula pesto. Excuse me. With how do you pronounce it? Scapes?
Garlic scapes.
Garlic scapes. Cioppino, which is made easy, and asparagus salad. All things that are relatively, spring-like types of stuff. Now, we're going to be talking about truck food or street food.
Street food.
Right. And street food is prevalent throughout the world, more so in other countries than here in the United States. Europe has some of it, but your Asian countries, Middle East, Central America, South America have all got.
But now it's becoming very popular here in the United States.
Yes.
It started in Portland, really. Portland, Oregon. Well, there's always been street food in
New York,
but not to this extent that they were using these trucks. But they've taken over parking lots in downtown Portland where maybe 20 trucks are there.
20, 30 trucks.
All different kinds of food.
It has gotten so big out there that chefs that worked in quality restaurants
or owned their own restaurant
have given that up, have bought a truck, and they just do this, and they find it much more relaxing. Anything is more relaxing than being in a restaurant,
right.
Let me tell you. And they're making a fairly good living out of it. So, you go there at noon, and I mean, you can't even get near the place.
You can see them all over the United States, also, particularly now with the farmers markets, and that's how they started. Basically in Europe, or particularly Italy, was on market day, because they would have outdoor markets. You would find a food truck or two that maybe did mostly porchetta or that kind of something that you can eat with your hand. And your first recipe is going to be something of that
and
nature.
This food it's good food, it's fresh food, it's economical. Here in the United States, if you pay over $6 or $7 for dinner, or lunch at these places, it'd be a lot. And it's usually ethnic types of food, but it really is good. And we're really hepped up on it. And we're going to give you a recipe of this wonderful Thai dish of a chicken on a stick. That sounds pretty awesome, doesn't it? So we're going to do a chicken on your stick. So we've got it on film. And we're going to go through the steps of how to do this. So here we go. All right, now here we are in the kitchen, and I have put a combination of soy sauce, garlic, and honey, and I've got chicken thighs. Chicken thighs are much moister than chicken breast, and these are chicken thighs that have no bone on them, and they're skinless. And I marinated this for only about a half an hour, and I put them on a stick.
That's probably all you need is about a half an hour, yeah.
And the reason I put them on the stick, because it's easier to flip, okay? And this seems to be the big thing in these street food is, you put them on a stick and you give them one stick, and that's your dinner or lunch. So we're going to cook these on a hot griddle for 3 minutes per side, and they're going to look pretty dark when I turn these on over. But
that's the soy sauce, though.
The soy and the honey.
Honey that are making them dark, but they won't taste like they're burned or anything.
So it's an easy recipe to do. So all right, so now I'm going to turn these over. There we go, and you see how nice and crisp and that wonderful dark chewiness around the outside is gonna permeate this dish. So there we go. So now we'll do those on another 3 minutes per side. That's all it takes. And the meat will be almost completely pale. It might be a little thickness to it, but it doesn't bother it because of the marinade. So really easy thing to do. All right, so I'm going to take them off of them, let them set aside, and we're going to put them in a tortilla, of all things.
Now this is a whole wheat tortilla, right,
This is
Jim?
a whole wheat tortilla, yeah. And we're going to, it comes off the bone nice and easy.
With a stick.
All right. Off the stick, right, not the bone. All right. Now on top of that, we're going to add something Marilyn and I love, which is a broccoli slaw. It's not coleslaw. It's made with shredded broccoli and carrots and some cabbage, okay? Now, before I do that, I'm putting a little lime juice over the top of it, which adds a nice
that gives a
little
nice citrusy
Right.
taste, which is always good.
So there goes the broccoli slaw on top of it. And you notice I've started on one side of the tortilla because I'm going to want to roll this thing up, and it's easier that way. Now, this is a sweet Thai sauce, sweet chili Thai sauce. Going to put a little of that on there. This it's not. We have the recipes here, and it'll give you the. And there is a little hot sauce, a Chinese hot sauce, the name of which again is on the recipe. Now, see, I'm going to try to do this without fouling up, which I usually do. All right, got it done. Put it on the grill. Okay.
So you're grilling
with
yeah.
the seam side down. Take that off, and we'll flop that thing over after it's gotten a little brownness on one side. Press it down. We're almost there now, and it shouldn't take over a minute per side to do it this way. I forgot to light the fire.
Well, there you go.
Right. All right. So pushing that down, and these flour tortillas are taste as good as a white tortilla, and they're better for you. Okay. All right. So we got that. We're gonna put that up there without me. There we go. Made it almost. Now, if you'll notice, just to the right of the tortilla, this is some cilantro or parsley. It's sprinkled over the top to give it a little color. And there's a piece of provolone, sharp provolone cheese. This has nothing to do with this Thai tortilla at all. I just like it, and I wanted to put it on there.
Mm-hmm.
And in Italy, they do this a lot. This is a sharp provolone, and they drizzle it with a little honey, and they serve it that way. And there, I've got some pickled onions that I'm putting over the top of the tortilla. And you now have the chicken on a stick with some parsley on it, and
Easy to do.
easy to do. And remember to drink the wine.
And I guess you could do the meat on a grill outside. You certainly do the whole
You
thing.
surely could.
You could do the whole thing on a grill if you chose
This would be easy to do it with it on the grill. So, and the cheese that I've used there is a sharp provolone. We get it over at Nona's, and it in that combination of a yin and yang, the sweetness of the wonderful honey, and Greek honey is the best.
Well, and now
drizzle over the top.
Well, in the fall there will be absolutely wonderful honeys in the area too. But you have to wait. You have to wait to the fall to get some really good honeys in this area.
And I looking into this things on a stick that they cook on a stick. You go over to Asia, and they'll put anything on a stick.
Well, you can put shrimp or fish, fish cubes of fish.
Or you can put bugs on it.
Well, I don't think they'll do
alligator.
that. Whatever.
Python.
Right. Whatever. I'm not eating that, but that's okay.
I don't think any of the people out there are going to eat it either. I don't think I am. So let's keep it to the chicken or the beef or the pork
or the lamb,
shrimp or the lamb.
The shrimp or some fish of some sort.
Okay. So that's our first recipe. And now, we've been talking. We are always so excited this time of the year with the farmers markets opening up. And now they're just opened up, and they're all over. I mean, they're in Seneca Falls, they're in Waterloo, they're in Auburn, they're in Geneva. There's in Ithaca, a mammoth one in Ithaca, the regional farmers market in Syracuse and Rochester. And what you are getting is you're getting fresh produce, fresh product at a very inexpensive price, and it's something that is local. You can't get any better than that. We went down to the farmers market
Wednesdays from, what are they, about 9 to 1, I think they have them.
Yeah.
Down by the bandstand in Seneca Falls.
And right now, you got beets that are coming through. The strawberries are luscious. Asparagus is sort of on its way out.
Well, I think asparagus is almost over, but
Right.
asparagus nowadays is available all year round. But there's nothing like that fresh asparagus that came right from the fields around here and is harvested.
And the young arugula has got a very, very strong taste to it, but it's wonderful. And scapes. We got scapes.
Now, scapes are nothing more than when you put the garlic bulb in the ground and it's starting to grow.
Shoots.
It is a shoot that comes up, and you can cut those off, and you can make this wonderful pesto my husband made with it. So.
This was my brilliant idea.
But this he did all by himself. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you can make paste again. You go to these farmers markets and you pick up things, and you can use other recipes and change some of the ingredients and come up with some wonderful food.
The other thing at this time of the year, and it's a very short season, is the young onions they have, and they
Right.
come out and the bulbs on are about this big around. And you can eat the whole thing. They're very sweet, and they are extremely, extremely good. So, and you can grow these in your garden too.
Right.
Right. Marilyn, did you know what the natural Viagra is?
No, I don't.
You don't even want to know, do you?
I'm being set up, but that's okay.
It has been a proven fact that men spending 1/2 an hour in the garden every single day will have a greater stimulus of sexual needs.
Well, that's great. That's a good
Maybe
thing.
it's watching everything grow.
Maybe it is. Who knows?
All right, I don't want to go any farther.
Yeah, I think you should go on. Let's recipe or something.
All right,
Go
shall
on.
I go to recipe?
Yeah, I think it's time.
All right. Let's do the pesto. And what I do is after I've made this, which is easy to make, you put it in a blender or in a Cuisinart. I talked to this about before. Putting it on a piece of plastic, put it out, and then rolling it up and put it in the freezer. And then when I need it, I just cut off as
Right.
much as I want. And the combination
And then
here.
you can put it back into a freezer bag at that point, so
Sure.
that it's nice.
Or you
and
can use
covered.
it fresh,
Right.
the way you want it. So all we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to blanch 2 cups of scapes, and we're going to cut them into pieces about this big, okay? And we're going to put that in the blender. And they have a fairly strong garlic flavor to them, as you well might imagine. And we're gonna put that in a food processor. We're gonna add 2 cups of arugula. There's arugula that we bought at the farmer's market. And we're gonna puree that. We're gonna toast some walnuts. We're gonna put that in there. And then we're gonna slowly add olive oil. And it could take, you want it to get to a point where it's pretty well emulsified, a thickness of a paste. You're going to put the olive oil in there until it does that. And you add that in a little stream. Then add some Parmesan cheese and some lemon zest, and you're done.
And
now,
the thought about using a different nut beside pine nuts, I mean, for most
well, you don't like pine nuts.
I know I don't, and they don't last very well. So what is really great is to use a walnut or a pistachio or
Right.
an almond. I mean, again, using your own taste and use a recipe. You can change any of this. The pesto can be made out of almost anything.
Remember what we say. These are just guidelines.
Right.
You do your own thing. You create your what you like, and you go with it from there. So one thing I would say, if you are going to freeze this, I talked about Parmesan cheese. I would not put the Parmesan into this mixture. I would add it when I'm ready to cook. The reason freezing Parmesan cheese, it gets a little bitter. So if you're going to use the Parmesan and
use
freeze
your fresh cheese instead.
yeah, use a fresh cheese. You're a lot better off. So we hope you enjoy doing that. Go to the farmer's market, right? All right. Now, we've been going back and forth trying to get through Italy. We haven't gotten there yet, but when we left, we were heading south, going toward the coast along the Adriatic side, and we're going to try to continue in that direction. Okay.
Yeah.
And one of the things on the Adriatic side that they like is cioppino. And I've got a really, really easy recipe for cioppino.
Yes, because that can be very time consuming, but this one's quick and easy.
And this one's got beans in it, which means that the people from the Tuscany area are called the bean people. Everything they put
bean eaters.
Bean
is what
eaters,
they're called.
Right. So this recipe has got beans in it. It's got shrimp in it. We're trying to get it a little bit healthy by taking Italian turkey sausage instead of pork sausage and using that. And again, this is so simple and yet so good. And you're going to make this, and once you've made it, you're going to get a nice big loaf of an Italian bread, pull off a chunk of that, and as you eat this, dunk it into the sauce. Glass of wine. This nice little white wine. Right now, Marilyn, a Sauvignon Blanc would be great.
That
with
would
this.
be wonderful.
All right, enough of me. All right, let me tell you what the recipe is. We're gonna take 1 pound of Italian sausage, turkey sausage, pull it out of the case, brown it for about 5 minutes. We're gonna add 2 cups of white wine to deglaze this. Add the garlic, the salt and pepper to taste, and just let that stay in there and cook for about 10 minutes. Then add some chicken broth, bay leaf, tomato paste. Let that cook for a little bit longer. Add 1 pound of shrimp. You're going to need a fairly good pot for this now. 1 can of cannellini beans, which you've drained. You don't want to use the juice, okay? Yeah. Go out to your garden, get some chopped basil, put that in there. Some fresh thyme, and you cook that for about 4 minutes. Season it at the end with a little salt and pepper. Put it in a nice big bowl, okay?
And serve it with this absolutely
serve it with the bread.
Crusty bread.
And eat that bread. Oh, can we go home and make this now?
You might want to.
That sounds really, really good. So this is a great dish that's easy to make. Normally cioppino's, you have 5 or 6 different fishes and you make this big pot of it, which is wonderful. I don't think anything wrong. Out in the West Coast,
it's wonderful. That's where we first encountered cioppino.
Yep. So
in San Francisco.
Yeah. So you should try that. Also, I got a recipe for asparagus salad. Now.
Right. Maybe the last of the asparagus.
Last of the asparagus. And again, it's a real easy recipe. You're going to take 1 pound of asparagus and you're going to trim the ends. What do I mean by trim the ends? Take an asparagus and take one out, and where it breaks that's what you want to trim off.
Yeah, that gets rid of the woody, what they call the woody part.
And then just line it up with all the rest of your asparagus and slice it off, and you're ready to go with it. And you're going to take this and we're going to put it in the oven. We're going to take a 450 degree oven. We're going to mix a little olive oil, salt, and pepper. We're going to put it in there for 15 minutes. We're going to take it out. We're going to put a simple dressing on it of a mixture of olive oil, salt, and pepper, lemon zest. I love lemon zest. Some shallots, some Dijon mustard. Mix that up. Put it on a bed of arugula. Cook a couple hard-boiled eggs.
Put those over. It really does make a wonderful salad.
Shave some cheese over it. You can use a Parmesan cheese, Asiago cheese,
right?
And you're done. So we hope you enjoy that too. So next time we get together, we're going to do a pasta primavera. And a pasta primavera is nothing more than what's out there in the form of fresh vegetables, mixing it very lightly with some oil and lemon and doing it that way. And I want to leave you with one thing, Marilyn. I want to leave them with passeggiata.
Oh, right.
Tell them about a passeggiata.
Well, a passeggiato in Italy is that just before dinner, they go out. When they get home from work or whatever, they go and walk around the square and they talk to each other, and they might play a little cards, and they might have a wine or something, and everybody talks and everybody gets together. And then they go home much later and usually they have a lighter dinner in the evening. Their main meal is usually at lunch, and that may have changed over the years, but they used to cook at noon and then have a more of a lighter dinner later. But what it does is it sort of makes everybody they're friendly and they discuss things and everybody talks and says hello and walks.
And do you know what when they have that light dinner, what they talk about it, the main topic of conversation?
The main topic most of the time is what they're going to eat or what they have eaten. So it's very good. They love their food.
So go take a passeggiata.
Right.
You stop off at a bar, have a glass of wine. Go knock on your neighbor's door. Hey, how are you?
Invite them over for a glass of wine.
Right.
There you go.
So enjoy, and we'll see you in a while. So God bless. Bye-bye.